What's going on, Sliders? Welcome back to the Piplup Party, and today we're going to be talking about the top 5 most underrated sets from Sword and Shield. Now, coming in at number 5, I'm going to have to give this to Astral Radiance. Now, I don't think Astral Radiance is heavily underrated, but here's the reason why, right? The top card in Astral Radiance is this Machamp V for $112, which is pretty good. And then you get Dialga and Palkia, both at around $50 coming up next, which is still, it's fine. But here's what made me think that Astral Radiance was a bit more underrated than some other sets. After this, you don't have amazingly priced cards, right? But there's depth. You have a $39 card, $38, $34, $30, $26, $24, $22, $21. Those are all the cards that are over $20 in Astral Radiance. Now in sets like Brilliant Stars, which everyone loves, the 7th card in Brilliant Stars isn't even $20. Whereas with this, with Astral Radiance, the 11th card is still over 20. So there's a bit more depth to Astral Radiance than even Brilliant Stars, which, yes, it doesn't have as many expensive, like very expensive cards at the top, but it still holds a bit more depth, which is, I think, what makes this set underrated. And like I said, it's not heavily underrated, but I do think this gives it an aspect of being underrated in general. So Astral Radiance is my number 5. Like I said, that's a tricky one, but I had to put a 5th, and Astral Radiance took the spot. Coming in at number 4 is Battle Styles. Okay, so Battle Styles, I think, is actually a very, well, it's not very, but I do think it's a pretty heavily underrated set. Because I think Battle Styles, out of the Sword and Shield products, I think Battle Styles is the lowest priced out of all Sword and Shield sets. And Battle Styles isn't the worst Sword and Shield set by any means. You have an $101 Tyranitar here, and then after that, it's not like it falls off a cliff like Vivid Voltage does. You get a $70 Urshifu VMAX. And then a $42 Empoleon. I mean, there's a good amount of depth to this set too. Not depth. There's a good amount of price at the top to this set. There's not a good amount of depth to this set. That's kind of, I think, what makes the prices fall off on it a little bit. Because, yeah, you got the $100 card, a $70 card, $42, $35. But then you fall down below $20. $18, $17, $14, $12. And then it gets pretty bad down here. A lot of these are just, a lot of the rainbow rares and full arts, they're all just sitting around $10. And I think, yeah, this Houndoom is the highest gold card at $15. So it's not great. But I think being the cheapest Sword and Shield set, I don't think is fair based off the fact that you got a card over $100. You have a $70 card following that up, a $42 card, and a $35 card. Those are all good cards. Even these two cards here, they're $18 and $17, but they're pretty good. I like the artwork. I would not be surprised if these cards go up. I think they may have already gone up a little bit. But yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if these go up more. The top cards as well, they're all great. For number 4, I think that's pretty worthy to put that there in terms of being underrated. Battle Styles, that's my pick. At number 3, we have Silver Tempest. Now, Silver Tempest is another set where it's not priced incredibly high, I don't think, right now, but the cards aren't that bad. You have a $200 card, which is a large part of why I'm putting this at number 3, because that is very expensive. And then you also, with Silver Tempest, have a little bit of depth, right? You got a $44 card, 40, another 40, 37, 34, 25, 23. Those are all over $20. Then you have two $19, so it's just below 20. $17 card, $15 card. By the way, that's a cool card for being $15. I like that a lot. There's Blaziken VMAX as well, 15. That is criminally underrated in my opinion. But yeah, it's not an incredible amount of depth, but it's these cards at the top, which is what makes me think that this should be number 3 for being an underrated set. Because especially that $200 Lugia, like 200 is a lot. I don't think people realize this beats out anything from Vivid Voltage. I think it beats anything from like Fusion Strike, beats Battle Styles. It actually beats anything from Brilliant Stars, I think, too. This is a good card. And I don't think people really take that in as much as they should. $200 for a Pokemon card is a lot of money. And Silver Tempest, I think, is pretty rightfully sitting there at number 3 for the most underrated set at the moment, right now. Yeah, Silver Tempest, very underrated in my opinion. Let's move on to number 2. At number 2, we have Fusion Strike. Now, I just mentioned Fusion Strike, actually. I said that there's no card in Fusion Strike that is as high priced as the Lugia from Silver Tempest. but they have a lot more depth, in my opinion, than Silver Tempest has. And that's why I have it higher up in the list, because you have an $171 Gengar VMAX, which is a bit lower than the Lugia, but right after that, you have a card pretty much at the same price. It's $165, the Espeon VMAX. These are two very heavy hitters, which are low-key, like, they're low-key on par with the Lugia, if not just a little bit below. But these are two heavy hitters as opposed to Lugia, which had only one, and opposed to a lot of other sets which only have one. But then after that, it's not like you fall off a cliff either, because you have a $90 Mew VMAX, and then after that, you still have a $45 Mew V, then a $36, it's a Mew again, $33 card, a $29 card, 26, 15, 14. See, down here, it falls off. But up here, this top 8, that's pretty damn good top 8. The 8th best card, $26, but after, like, these top 2 are heavily impacting how underrated this set is. Because I think this set goes for, might go for like 130. It's not bad, but a lot of the Sword and Shield sets are very close in price, and I could see Fusion Strike kind of stringing out from the others in price, given it a couple years down the line. So Fusion Strike right now, out of all the sets I can think of, I feel comfortable putting this at my second most underrated set. So I guess that only leaves one more set, and most of you probably know what it is, but if you don't, let's move on to it. My number 1 set is Chilling Reign. Now, Chilling Reign, this might not be a surprise to a lot of people. Maybe it is. Here is my reasoning for this. Chilling Reign has the Blaziken VMAX for $167. Once again, like I just talked about with Fusion Strike, that's a lot of money. Talked about it with Silver Tempest too. These high-priced cards like this are a lot of money. The Galarian Moltres, also, it's not as expensive as the Espeon was from Fusion Strike, but it is still a lot of money, and it's a nice card. Now, there's a lot of parallels to Chilling Reign and Fusion Strike. You also now have a card for $87, which I think is one less dollar than Fusion Strike had, but here is where Chilling Reign pulls ahead from Fusion Strike, because the depth on Chilling Reign is crazy. You now have a $71 card at your number 4 spot, then a $64 card, a $63 card, 53, 51, 45, 37, 32, 32, 30, 26, 21, 21. Yeah, everything I just mentioned was over $20. That is 16 cards for over $20, which, like I said, compared to Brilliant Stars, which is a set a lot of people like, they have 6, maybe? So you're looking at over twice as many cards over $20 than Brilliant Stars has, which is saying quite a lot. This is a kind of a monster set in disguise here. Chilling Reign, I think, goes for a very similar price to Fusion Strike. I think it's around $130, and that was all recent. It was a big jump up from recently. I think it was like $100, and it jumped all the way to $130 ever since like December. So this card, this set's been on the rise, but pretty much all the sets have been on the rise. So it's not saying too much. It's not like people are like seeing things about Chilling Reign that they're not with other sets. It's kind of all of them as a whole. So Chilling Reign right now for me is my number 1, just because it has so much depth, and the fact that it isn't fairly higher priced than a lot of the other sets right now is kind of a surprise to me. And I know a lot of people have talked about this, so I'm honestly surprised it hasn't jumped up in price that much yet. Chilling Reign, it's a very good set overall. A lot of cool cards to pick from, and I think it's fair to put this as the number 1 most underrated set in all of Sword and Shield. Like, you can't say it's Evolving Skies. It's already taken the crown from Sword and Shield. Brilliant Stars was number 2 in for a lot of people's eyes, and to be honest, that set does not have great depth at all. So I mean, Chilling Reign, I think it's fair, and I don't think anyone's really going to disagree with me. Or I mean, they can disagree, but I don't think anyone's going to have a problem with me putting this number 1. Yeah, I think this is a good pick for me. And that was my top 5 picks, actually, out of all of Sword and Shield, for being 1 through 5th most underrated sets. If you guys liked this video or thought it was cool, interesting to watch it all, just subscribe, because I got more stuff like this coming out. Leave a like on the video if you enjoyed it as well, and comment down below. Let me know what you thought about this. I want to hear you guys' lists. I'm curious how similar mine is to a lot of your guys' lists. That's really all you got from me for this video, though. Hopefully it was helpful, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!